All right, here we go. Salute to NBA Nation on this Thursday afternoon. Another edition of the NBA Report. CP the Franchise, Andrew Salop on the ones and twos. Today's episode is brought to you guys by Prize Picks, man. Use our code MBAR for a first-time deposit match of up to $100. NBA play-in tournament hysteria continues, man. Last night, we're going to recap last night's games between the Philadelphia 76ers beating the Miami Heat and Coby White, the new man in charge in Chicago, man, leading the Bulls over the Hawks, plus some bad injury news that's going to derail a couple of teams, including the Miami Heat and the Pelicans, man. So lock in, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. A lunchtime edition of the NBA Report. Let's get back to it, man. Let's get to it. Had a great show last night. Rapid fire show. We had our shout out to our guy JD Sports Talk on the play-by-play, so the NBA Report is on and popping. And yeah, this is the show where we're going to recap all things NBA, especially come playoff time. So you're going to have the NBA Report, you'll have NBA Weekly, plus Combos Court, where Andrew will sit down with some of the best and brightest around the league. So make sure, like I said, you guys are hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share these videos, because trust and believe this is the number one show for the fans, by the fans. All right, Andrew, let's get right into it, man. 105-104, Philly beats the Miami Heat last night in a barn burner in the fourth, man, because, you know, this game started out, the way this thing started out, I thought I was about to pack my bags for South Beach because, you know, the winner taking on the New York Knicks. We got stuff planned out here in New York. But I literally thought that that I was getting ready to head down to South Beach, man, because I like the way, and this is what I was kind of concerned about with this Miami Heat team, is that, yes, offensively they're up and down, but defensively they can junk it up. And you saw full court press, you saw 2-3 zone, 3-2 zone, 1-3-1. I mean, you saw the whole gamut. Eric Spoelstra threw the kitchen sink at the Philadelphia 76ers, and I thought you really saw a flummoxed and perplexed Philly team. They could not solve it. But in the second half, man, they got some really good offense, especially from Nicholas Batum. Nicholas Batum was absolutely lights out in this game. You know, Batum off the bench, 6 of 10 from downtown. To me, he swung that game wide open for Philly and brought them back into it. 20 points for Batum, 5 rebounds. And then in crunch time, it was the process, man. You know, didn't look great, but he looked great when it mattered in crunch time. 11 points in the fourth quarter, and that's what got Philly the victory, man.
Nick Batum, definitely the MVP of this game. If you look at the stats, he might not look like the MVP, but big threes, hustle plays, following up shots. He even dunked on somebody after the whistle. You were right, though. In the first half, the Heat definitely had the Sixers flustered, but everything came to a head when Caleb Martin, free throws, third quarter, Chick-fil-A on the line. He missed 2 free throws.
Oof.
And that changed everything. The fans got into it, and that's what it was from there. I think that changed the momentum of the game. It sounds funny, but that's really the way things went. Tyler Hero came on a little bit stronger in the fourth quarter, but at the end of the day, Nicholas Batum was too much. And Joel Embiid, like you said, the conditioning wasn't great. He looked like he was hobbling a little bit.
He looked he's laboring out there, man.
But he was just walking into some skillful shots that he's going to get because he's such a talented player with such size. So he made some big plays late, but also, like, if Jimmy doesn't get hurt in that first quarter, I think they win the game because he seemed to be okay in the beginning, but then he started laboring towards the end, even though he had a few steals here and there. That was a big turning point as well when he went down in that first quarter. He was never the same. Then we're hearing now from Shams Charania that it might be an MCL injury.
Out of there. Jimmy out of there. And you're right. If he doesn't get hurt in this game, I think it's over with. I think they put them away, going away. And I mean, you know, say what you will about Jimmy Butler as the number one Heat hater. You know, I hate seeing him kill the Knicks and just elevate his game in these big moments. But give him credit, man, because he gutted this thing out on a sprained MCL, on a hurt MCL. You know, after the game, he was badly limping backstage. So, you know, give credit to him. If he's healthy, they definitely win the game. But also, you got to give credit to Batum, was just lights out from downtown when it mattered.
Right?
No conscience. And, you know, we talk about the value of wings in this league. Look no further than Nicholas Batum, who not only used his length, uses his size, his height to knock down some tough shots, but what did he do at the end? He gets you a clutch block on Tyler Hero to literally win the game on the defensive end. That is why wings are so critical for their versatility. Here's a guy who can guard all 5 positions, and on the final play, one of the final plays of the game, he's chasing Tyler Hero around. The guard around the perimeter has no problem keeping him in front of him and uses his wingspan to block a critical shot at the end. That's the value of a wing in this league.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he's been in the league this long. He's 3-and-D plus, 6'10", shoots it, defends. I mean, he's just perfect to have around your star player. And with that type of experience, you know he's going to come up big in big moments.
No question. And with Embiid, you know, he had a couple of nice threes there down the stretch. Just the 3-point play was pretty big, especially after Hero knocks down his 3. But I thought the key play of this game was, you know, he threads the needle to Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
In that zone, through that zone, Kelly Oubre makes a nice, like, last-minute cut and seal on Jimmy Butler and gets the and-one. I thought that was a play, one of the plays of the night, and that was just a great, good heads-up play by Embiid, because he did have, I think it was Kyle Lowry that was wide open on the elbow for a 3. And I'm watching, I'm like, yo, you got Lowry for the 3, but threaded it right there to Kelly Oubre. That was great sight right there, and a great execution by Philly.
Yeah, Kyle made some hustle plays as well. And speaking of Oubre, he brought energy on both sides of the floor with that clutch play, but also pressuring the ball on the defensive side. He was a total game changer himself.
Yeah, no question, man. So now Philadelphia, now comes the test. They get past Miami, but now they got to tangle with the New York Knicks on Saturday. Bro, I can't wait no longer, man. I mean, the days have been going by. Look, I love the NBA report. I love covering the NBA, but I need Knick basketball back and in full effect. How do you see these two teams matching up, man?
Yeah, I just think it's going to be tough for the Sixers because Embiid doesn't look right. In a weird way, I think actually he could have benefited from one more game in the play-in to get himself in shape, because he doesn't look himself at all. He's lumbering up and down the court. I think he's even limping. So I think this bodes well for the Knicks in this series. I actually think out of the two teams with Miami and the Sixers, the Heat would actually be the tougher matchup.
Yeah. I've said Philly because I look at their depth, like the Batum factor, how he gets out on Hero in that crunch time situation. That's going to be Jalen Brunson. And it's not to say that Jalen Brunson can't handle it, but it's tough. It's always tough when you're putting out a bigger, not physical, but a bigger, longer wing out there on a shorter guard. It's a tougher matchup naturally for anybody of his size. So the challenge is going to be there. And I think Philadelphia, their depth with Batum, Kelly Oubre playing well.
Yeah.
You know, you still have Harris. Like, they have the size to match up with the Knicks. And I think that could be tricky. Also, I wonder how they will defend here because they don't deploy a lot of zone. And I thought that's part of what got Tyrese Maxey a little bit off his game. 6 of 16 from the field for Maxey last night. I want to see how they defend Maxey. Is it going to be DiVincenzo? At the point of attack, it's going to be very key because in a two-man game with Maxey and Embiid, Maxey can get around those screens in a blur. And so if he's breaking down Brunson, DiVincenzo, leaving them in their wake, and now you get the defense to bend a little bit, you could have Buddy Hield on the corners. You could have Harris out there shooting threes, maybe Batum out there. So it could get a little bit tricky for the Knicks, man. I want to see how they can defend this Philly team, especially in that two-man game with Embiid and Maxey.
You got two solid bigs to throw at Embiid when it comes to Hartenstein and Mitchell. How do you feel like they should go about when it comes to strategy on defense when it comes to playing against these 76ers?
Playing against the 76ers on D?
Yeah.
I would look for things like a high pick and roll. Like you got to test Embiid's conditioning because he looks like he's just spent out there. So exactly. I want to see a lot of two-man game between Brunson and Hartenstein. Utilizing Hartenstein in that pinch post, letting him play make a little bit or even put the ball on the floor. But when Embiid's in the drops, this is when Brunson has to go out there and kill. Yeah. He's got to go out there and knock down those mid-range shots, force Embiid to come up a little bit, see what he's going to do to challenge those shots. And then also, you're going to have to throw multiple bigs out there. It's going to have to be Hartenstein. Yeah. It's going to have to be Mitch on the boards. Maybe even Precious, depending on if those guys get in foul trouble. But defensively, you got to test Embiid out, man. You absolutely do. So I think it's still going to be a challenge for them. But the way he's looking, I still like our chances.
Yeah, and I think you got to get up and down in transition a little bit. Test Embiid out because he is not moving well at all. and I think that will bode well for the Knicks. If this was fully healthy Embiid, it might be a different story.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't look right to me.
Doesn't look right. But I think, Philadelphia, they showed a little bit more firepower, especially in crunch time. Campaign hit a big three. Hill was only 1 of 5. Batum 6 of 10. Can you rely on that game in and game out? Probably not. But there is potential there. So for the Knicks, shot making is going to be what swings things for them. Their defense is going to be fine with or without Embiid at full health. They're going to be able to be physical. They have to get out there on the boards though. Limit Philadelphia. In one of those games, they played the Sixers 4 games. One of those games at MSG in that January stretch, I think. I didn't like how the Sixers were the aggressors on the boards, and it was without Embiid. It was Paul Reed, it was Oubre, it was Harris. I didn't like that. The Knicks cannot let the Sixers be the aggressors on the board. They have to try to win those rebounding battles because that's also part of your defense and how you're gonna corral these guys, limit their second chance opportunities. So I think that's gonna be keeper for the Knicks. Shot making. So Brunson, DiVincenzo, McBride, Hart. Yeah, you're gonna have to knock those down, man.
Yeah, and for the Sixers, I mean, Buddy Hield made a nice pass to Reed. He had some nice playmaking chops in that game, but he's going to have to be a little bit better. And Tobias Harris has to be better, man. I mean, he can't score 9 points a game.
Philly's ready to run that guy out of town, man. Did you,
I mean,
you heard they're booing him last night?
I mean, I'm telling you, the vibes were off until they got that Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
The vibes were off in the building. He has to be better, man. He has to be better if the Sixers want to win. So we'll see what develops because with Embiid not being 100%, you need everybody to be in full function.
You need everybody. And I do wonder with Maxey being the guy at this stage, how will he fare, right? It's no longer being supporting cast. Like, you have to be one of the primary engines here in the playoffs. How will he handle the Knicks' physicality as the series wears on? You know what I mean? I think that's key. He had an excellent regular season, but postseason is a different animal, man.
Yeah, I said, that was part of my prediction why I thought the Heat would win this game. I think they did lose because of what you said. A big reason was because of the Jimmy Butler injury. But, I don't know. He's a really great player. I don't know if you can rely on him yet to be your best or second best player with Embiid not being 100%. So I think if he could do it, I mean, kudos to him. But it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough going down the playoffs with
CP the franchise. Andrew Salop recapping last night's Eastern Conference opener of the play-in tournament. Salute to everybody in the chat. I see my guy King Deej in here. He said salute, it's playoff time. JD Sports Talk in here. Salute to JD. Salute to JJ from Brooklyn. Flizzy Flex. How you feeling, man? My 2 cents in here. The 50th burger. Let's go Knicks. Bimmer Jazz, salute. He says, I don't like their length. Batum, Harris, Oubre. Yeah, it's tricky. It can get a little tricky. This is why the Knicks shot making is going to be crucial, man, because I think Nick Nurse is going to be trying to junk it up a little bit on defense, and all eyes are going to be on Jalen Brunson. So
I think, I mean, with that type of ball pressure they had yesterday, I think Ihart's going to be a huge key making those plays in the 4-on-3, right?
Huge.
When they pass it up to him in that short roll. So we'll see what develops. He's going to have to make the right decisions, but he usually does. And I don't remember which game. Well, just a couple of games, man, where his teardrop has just been on point. Milwaukee, when they played the Bucks. Teardrop has just been on point, man. So I trust Ihart to get the job done. It's Josh Hart that I'm wondering. He will be able to play make, but he's got to be confident in stepping into those shots because they're not going to respect it one bit. Now, some news. CP, even when he makes them, that energy transfer don't look good. He got something going on with that jump shot, man. He needs some help with this offseason.
Well, his shooting wrist is banged up. And then he had hurt his left hand. So I think this week should bode well for them just in terms of getting the much-needed rest. Now, Bojan Bogdanovic reports are out there. Our guy Chris Persianen, who covers the Knicks on the Knicks beat, said that Bogdanovic had his wrist scoped. So not sure what that means. He says he's going to give it a go. So no time. He's not expected to miss time. But he's another guy that he's going to have to step up and knock down some shots for them when they need him to, especially off the bench.
Especially with Randall out, because he's that 4-man that could fit really nice next to Brunson. The archetype of player that Bogey actually is fits really nice with the Brunson. So if he could look like the old Bogey, that'd be really good for the Knicks.
Yo, we got to unleash. I mean, the Knicks have got to unleash the dog. OG time. Let's go. It's OG time. He's going to be on Oubre. You might see him on Embiid. You're going to see him on Maxey maybe in closing time. I want to see how Tibbs unleashes the dog in this series because that's going to be another key, man.
I mean, look, if we're talking about Eastern Finals or championship here, and OG's been great, his winning percentage has been phenomenal. Do you think you even need more from him on the offensive side of the ball as well?
Absolutely. It's all hands on deck. Because, in the playoffs, heroes are going to emerge that are not the stars. Last night it was Nicholas Batum, right? From 3. Somebody else, the non-Brunson guy, has to step up. And some nights, it's going to be OG. One night, maybe Miles McBride is that hero at Madison Square Garden. Like, it's going to have to be different guys.
I think DiVincenzo will have a few games, too.
Yeah, Ragu. Yeah. But, see, with him, he can't settle just for jacking threes. That's my thing. Because they're going to make it tough on him. They know that's his bread and butter. So you better believe that these guys are going to be running for their life to get this guy off the three-point line. So is he going to settle for tough contested shots, or is he going to stay patient, put the ball on the floor, and look to continue to make the reads? They have to stay patient offensively and not just settle for taking tough shot, because that's what Nick Nurse and that's what Philly's going to want them to do.
Yeah. Nah, totally agree. That makes sense. And they need guys to step up, especially with Randall out. We see Bogey. Wrist might not be right. So, these guys are going to have to step up. We know Brunson's going to be Brunson, but it's the guys around him. And then iHeart, making decisions is really crucial as well. Yeah,
no question about it. Oroku Saki in the chat says, I hate Oubre and Lowry. Yeah, Lowry, man. Every time I'm ready to put the final dirt in his basketball career, he tries to come up big against the Knicks, man. So we can't.
He was on the floor twice in that final play, man. Yeah. That guy hustles, man. Yeah. I mean, he's been doing that since Toronto, since Villanova.
Yeah. I like Knicks in 6 in this one. If they do, it's got to become game 1. They got to take care of business at the Garden.
Yeah. I think I agree with that prediction. I can see, with a healthy Embiid, I might go 7, but I think it'll be 6 for the Knicks.
Yeah. They got to take care of business at the Garden. Set the tone early. Don't put any doubts in you where you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself in game 2. Come out, set the tone early, where if you have to split and then head to Philly, where this is Nova territory, so you're not really at a disadvantage. And what I'm hearing is when I talk to my guy Evan Roberts at WFAN, I think there's still tickets available on a general sale in Philly for that playoff game. Philly fair weather, they don't believe in that team anyway. So,
I told you, man, they weren't even into it until the Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, they show up, man. Philly's definitely diehards, but they don't care about the Sixers like that.
But I think there was some boos towards the Sixers yesterday in the building.
Tobias Harris was getting booed.
Yeah, definitely.
He knows it. So, the series is definitely going to be intriguing for me and very much looking forward to it. So Saturday, 6 o'clock, we will get it popping. Now, the other game, which I told you we were going to, run the cliff notes through because I was backing up merch while I was watching this game. I really had no interest. But, man, the Chicago Bulls did defeat the Atlanta Hawks, man, 131-116 behind Coby White's heroics, man. Coby White, bro, continues to make his case for NBA Most Improved Player, even though these stats don't count. 42 points for Coby White, 15. He only missed 6 shots. 15 of 21 from the field. 3-7 from downtown, 9-10 from the free throw line, 9 boards, and 6 dimes. What do you just make of just his year as a whole, man?
Yeah, to me, he's the undisputed most improved player. I like his game back since North Carolina. He went from 10 points to 19 points this season. Wow. We just seen him drop 40. And I think, the level of the 3-level skill he showed this year has been, really impressive. It shows that he really worked on his game.
Yeah.
This is not a good team. They're not a good basketball team, but the vibes are good right now, and the effort is good right now. So I think Coby White and DeSumo are 2 players they can move forward with. So I think at least this team had a bright spot this season, even though they're not very good at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's interesting because while they aren't a good team as a collective, they're playing very well. I was even impressed with the way that they played the Knicks in the final few games of the regular season. They played them tough. They're severely undermanned. No Levine, no Patrick Williams. They lost a number of guys, but no Ayo for most of this. But then guys step up. It was Coby White. DeRozan's still doing his thing. What's his name? Green has been playing well. Vucevic, I think, has been playing very well.
You saw the dunk Green had on against the Knicks?
Yeah,
oh
yeah. So that, they're getting contributions where necessary. And listen, forget about the Hawks. They were the number 10 seed.
Trey seemed like he was tapped out, bro. Yeah. I don't know if it was the injury. I don't know if he's looking for a change of scenery. I like to see him be paired with Wemby, but I think both sides, from the Hawks' perspective and the Trace perspective, there has to be a change of scenery.
No question. I think the Trae Young era will come to a close. Lawrence Smith in the chat, he's right. He says they have to figure out what type of team that they want to be. Their team construction is strange. I have a feeling they stick it out with DeJounte Murray, man, and let Trae Young
He's been good. He's been good.
Yeah. I could see Trae Young maybe going to the Lakers, maybe goes to the Spurs. Who knows? But I think it's over with. They've got to kind of figure out which direction they want to go with, because they're literally in no man's land right now. Quinn Snyder's a good coach, but they've got to figure out what they want to do with that roster. I say they build it around DeJounte Murray and Jalen Johnson as your core. He's good. Jalen Johnson, he stepped it up. So build it around those guys as a core and see where it goes. But I think Trae Young's time is finished. So now you're going to have the Bulls taking on the Miami Heat tomorrow night. And the Miami Heat will be without Jimmy Butler, man. Jimmy Butler expected to miss multiple weeks with a sprained MCL. I think the Bulls can win this game, even in Miami. I think they can win this game, man. They're playing tough. They've got momentum. I'm not sure Miami can survive this without Jimmy Butler. And even if they do, they're not going far. I think they get swept by the season anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think the Bulls win.
I don't think that he go far, but I do think they win this game. Bam has to step up. Jaime Jaquez has to step up. Tyler Hero showed who Tyler Hero could be in that fourth quarter. He gives them some scoring punch they didn't even have last playoffs. So I think the Heat will squeak it out, but I don't see them going deep in this playoffs, especially with a hobbled Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I don't see it. Miami's another team that I think they're going to have to figure out their direction after this season comes to a close, because they tried to get involved in the Dame sweepstakes. Hard, heavy, pause. Didn't get them. Will they go after Spider Mitchell? They got to figure it out, because as much as you want to, applaud Jimmy Butler for his heroics and his playoff toughness, he's another guy that gets hurt. Yeah. He's not getting any younger, so he's not going to get any more durable. So you have to look at him as going to be on the decline eventually, and they just don't have enough. Last year, they didn't have enough to win the finals. This year, although their defense is always there, especially with Bam in the middle, they just don't have enough. So they're going to have to figure out what direction they want to go in. I don't believe in Hero as a guy that you can build a team around. His defense sucks. Offensively, sure, he can be all right for you.
Man. He's a good
six man. I look at him as a six-man guy. They've got to figure out how to get a talent upgrade there to kind of match what they can bring defensively. I love Jaquez. Love what he can bring. Highsmith is another guy, versatile guy. I like their versatility there, but they've got to get to offensively more talented.
Yeah, they've been at a talent deficit for a while. That's why everybody was so surprised how deep they went last season and the season before. I think they made a huge mistake, but this is another topic for another day. I think they should have went after Harden during the trade deadline, but because they just needed talent. And when there was a former MVP lying around, I think you pick them up. They didn't do that. They didn't make any major upgrades, and I think it's showing itself right now, especially with this Jimmy Butler injury, because they're going to have to step up to even beat the Bulls at this point.
Yeah, no question about it. Now, on the other side, you have the Pelicans and the Kings tonight. You got the Pelicans and the Kings tonight. No Zion. So we're talking about Jimmy Butler. No Zion. You have the Pelicans. You have the Kings visiting the Pelicans, a place they haven't won all season. They haven't beaten the Pelicans all year. And I think their revenge tour continues, man. I think the Kings are going to be on a mission. Pelicans without Zion. We talked about the need for their supporting cast to step up. Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. If they don't do it, I don't see it getting done. I think the Kings get redemption here and keep it rolling on the way to OKC.
Yeah, CJ looked old last game. BI's body language was really bad. Zion gets that injury, and I don't think it's looking too good for New Orleans, and I think the Kings will take this one. I mean, their energy versus the Warriors unmatched, bro. And then Keegan Murray's seeming to emerge at this point. So I'm looking for another big game from him.
They have way too much depth. I mean, if you're going to rely on Larry Nance Jr. to slow down his opponents, you're going to be in for a long night. So
yeah.
I just think that, the Pelicans will be at a talent disadvantage, and not just now, but going forward, because I love the way that Zion attacked this game. It was great to see him have his best game probably of his career on the big stage. Yes. But again, the injury bug, he can't shake it, man. And so, they're saying that he's going to be out. He's going to be out for a number of weeks as well. And it's just unfortunate, because will we ever see him truly reach, right, with that force? Yeah. Not sure if he's going to last, man.
All that missed time, it's adding up, right? I mean, he actually was good with it for this whole season, and you see how much better shape he is. And like, if you saw before and after pictures, if they had before and after pictures of him even during the midseason tournament and now, like, he looks like a totally different person. And the way he was moving in that game, going at AD, going at LeBron, it almost looked like a passing of the torch moment. He was going at them, and he was having a real moment. And it was so unfortunate that he got injured right in that moment.
CP and Andrew on the ones and twos, the NBA report. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. 5,000 subscribers already on the NBA report, man, but we need more, man. And with your support, we can get it. We did glitch out for a little bit of a glitch in the matrix. But yeah, all good. Salute to everybody.
Our takes are so good. We're causing matrices out here.
Yeah, a little glitch in the matrix. Hold on, though, because the chat is saying that Paul Reed is talking spicy here about the Knicks. So let's see. Let's tap into this soundbite. Don't really care what Chandler Parsons has to say. He never has a good take. I'm not sure why they continue to give this guy a mic, because he literally sucks. But all right, let's pause. But let's hear what Paul Reed has to say. If he's got anything enlightening to say here, let's go to Paul Reed.
Paul, you guys now will face the Knicks in the first round. Was there multiple conversations how we want to get this win to match up with the Knicks? Are you confident in that Knicks? And was it more that, or was it more to avoid the Boston Celtics in the first round to make this game so important last night?
No, man. I mean, I feel like we ain't ducking no smoke, but yeah, we wanted the Knicks matchup. Of course, that's the easier team, I guess. But, it's going to be fun. We match up pretty well with them. They got a great guard. We got a great guard. We also got Joel, MVP. So, like you said earlier, he's one of the most unstoppable guys in the league right now. So they're going to have to send triple teams, and he's going to get everybody else involved, I'm sure of it.
All right. What do you think, man?
It wasn't too spicy.
It wasn't too spicy.
He said it was the easier team.
Yeah.
That was the spice.
I think that was just a lack of media training on his part. I agree. You shouldn't be ducking any type of smoke.
First of all, in the NBA playoffs, nobody's easy to get past.
It isn't. Yeah. But I do hope, because he's going to be out there with the Block Ness Monster, he better back it up. Because the Block Ness Monster is ready. He even said on social media he's going to be off the TikTok. He's off the Snapchats, the Rick Rocks, everything. He's locked in. So Paul Reed better come with his A game, because my guy Mitchell Robinson, the Block Ness Monster, is ready to go. Trust and believe. That's all I'll say. I don't think it was a spicy take, but you better be ready, because the Garden is going to be rocking on Saturday at 6 o'clock. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you, bro.
I want to hear a podcast with Paul Reed and Mitchell Robinson. That would be interesting.
Absolutely. Risen in the chat says save that clip for later. Yeah, we gonna save it for later, man. So anyway, man, great show, my guys. This is the rapid fire edition of the NBA report, man. Great show, Andrew. And once again, we'll be back tomorrow, man. We will recap tonight's game between Friday, actually. We will recap Friday's games on Saturday, rather. We will recap Friday's games between Chicago, Miami, and New Orleans and Sacramento. Keep it locked, man. Make sure you guys go back through the channel and take a look at some of the content, especially Combos Court. Shout out to JD Sports Talk on the play-by-play. Also tap in with us on Knicks Fan TV. You already know that we got a ton of content from this week previewing the Knicks versus the Sixers, and tonight it will be our game of the week preview. Keith Pompey, Sixers insider Keith Pompey, who covers the team for the Athletic, or the Philadelphia Inquirer rather, will be on with our guy Alex. So make sure you guys tap into that at 10 o'clock. And yeah, we're going to break it all down, man. Key matchups, what to look out for, as well as series predictions. So we got you guys covered. Make sure you guys tap in. We'll see you guys later on, man. Flizzy Flex.